Lucas Tomlinson joining us live from the Pentagon with the Army's plan to stop the riots. Lucas, what's the latest?
Good morning, guys. In a hasty press conference at 1:30 this morning, Minnesota's governor says he had spoken to top Pentagon brass and more help could be on the way to his state to quell the violence.
We're in contact today and had an extensive conversation, General Jensen, Commissioner Harrington and I, with the Secretary of Defense and General Milley, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, to talk about assets and way that we can help, to assess the situation as they're seeing it on the ground, and to put those things into a plan to operate today.
As we heard earlier from Matt Finn, violence continued overnight. The Minnesota National Guard's top general says 1,200 additional Guard soldiers will join the nearly 500 mobilized earlier this week, making it the largest deployment in Minnesota state history. Reinforcements from the active duty forces could also be on the way soon. Military police units have been put on alert. One unit out of Fort Drum, New York, home to the Army's 10th Mountain Division, has been told to be ready to deploy in 4 hours if needed. Deploying active duty forces is not without precedent. In 1992, thousands were deployed during Rodney King riots in L.A. And Pete, as you know, the 10th Mountain Division is part of the 18th Airborne Corps, which always keeps a alert brigade ready to deploy overseas on short notice, perhaps now here in the heartland. Guys?
Absolutely. Lucas, real quick, this could be a detail that I'm missing, but is there a difference between what federalized troops can do from activated National Guard troops as far as helping to keep the peace?
Well, there's long-standing laws on the books, including the Posse Comitatus Act, which forbids federal forces, these Title X forces, active duty military, from serving in a law enforcement capacity. But there is this Insurrection Act from 1807 that says that active duty forces can be mobilized if the president says it's an emergency, if he thinks that's needed. And as we saw back in 1992, up to 4,000 soldiers and Marines deployed to Los Angeles during the Rodney King riots to stop the violence, Pete.
And Lucas, I don't want to put you on the spot, but the fact that it's military police, does that create a distinction that would allow them to better partner with people like the Minnesota State Police in trying to restore order?
Well, absolutely, Griff. Of course, military police units, this is their job. They train to quell violence. When they deploy to war zones, they're not necessarily, taking the houses as Pete and 101st Airborne did during the Iraq War. They're trained to do cordons. They're trained to police. That is their job. They're police officers in the active duty. So they would certainly augment any kind of National Guard forces and local law enforcement. As we heard from the governor early this morning in that press conference, he says we're outmanned, we're outgunned, we need help. And when the president called the Pentagon and told the defense secretary he needs help, these are the forces that are being considered.
Got it.
Thanks, Lucas.
Lucas, thank you. Great information. We really appreciate it.